so where are you at? Let's see. Let's go to lesson 5. Round grouping. Okay, so things I need my 4 terms. I need to divide them into bigger terms and smaller terms. So let's look at the example down here. All of these words, we don't care about that. What I want to know, did I start off with 4 terms? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. All right. So I want to group them into bigger. We're going to highlight our 2 bigger. And I want to group them into smaller terms. That's our grouping. So bigger, I'm going to highlight yellow. So your biggest x terms, those are the ones with the highest order, the highest degree. It's going to be x cubed and negative 5x squared. My smaller would be 3x and the constant negative 15. So they group them. That's the grouping. Write a little note. Don't look at all these words. It's too much for you. I'm overwhelmed right now. So I've grouped. I did my bigger terms. I did my smaller terms. Now, you look at each section. Let's look at your bigger terms first. What is the greatest factor I can divide out of the first 2 terms? 1. That's the biggest number. Okay. What about the biggest variable? What can I divide out of both terms? So remember, we're just looking at these 2 terms. What's the biggest variable I can divide in both terms? Eli, get your head up. You know what? You gotta go. Get back. Get back. Get back. Go to the clinic. I don't care. Go. Looking at these 2, what's the biggest thing I can divide out? If you don't know, you're going to write. Divide the smaller variable term. When you have variables in both. Write it down. Which one's smaller, x cubed or x squared? X squared. So in the second column, actually the third, they already did it for you. But what they did, they swung the x squared out, they skipped a step, but they're supposed to divide each term by x squared. All right. Look at 3x minus 15. What do you do? What's the biggest number you can divide out of 3 and 15? 3. It's right there. Can you divide an x out? There's not an x in both terms, so no. All right. With grouping, what they're going to ask you to do. Your numbers, your greatest common factors out here, they're going to ask you to group them together. So greatest common factors times the inside expression. Write this down. GCF parentheses inside. Your final answer is going to look something like this. So we're going to do this problems. So first thing, we're not going to write anything down yet. We're going to group them. We're going to group them. All right? That usually means grouping in order. So here, my first two, grouping. Second two, grouping. And we're going to use all the space from left to right. All right? Taking care of the first group, I have 4x squared plus 20x. On the other side, my group, negative 3xy minus 15. Now, we need greatest common factors for both groups. So what's your GCF? What is the biggest number you can divide out of 4 and 20? 4. What's the biggest variable? Which one's smaller, x squared or x? X. So there's my GCF, okay? Then we're going to work on factoring. Factor out the GCFs. We're going to factor out these greatest common factors. So that's our next step. So 4x, it comes out here, it swings out. In fact, if you have the space, you can write up there. I'm just going to rewrite it. So 4x times the quantity of 4x squared plus 20x. Please make sure you conserve your space, but you write neatly and cleanly. Divided by your GCF, 4x each term. All right? Now, what happens? GCF comes down, but inside, what's 4 divided by 4? Cancels. What's x squared divided by x? X. Plus, what's 20 divided by 4? Okay, x divided by x goes away. What you're going to find with grouping, this expression, this inside expression, should be the same over here. And we're going to check. We're going to check. The inside expression should be the same over here. So let's start back over with our smaller expression. This is the bigger one. This is the smaller one. So, what's the biggest number I can divide out of negative 3 and 15? Negative 15. Negative 3. And it has to be negative, okay? So, what's the biggest variable? What about x? Can I divide an x out of both of these? No. Why?
There's no x.
There's no x over here. Can I divide a y out of both of these? No. There's no y over there, okay? They have to be in the same term. So only negative 3. So I come out here, negative 3 times negative 3xy minus 15. All right, you ready? What happens to the greatest common factor? Comes down. All right, from left to right. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 just goes away. XY comes down though. Ooh. That is bad.
15 here.
Oh, there's a Y here? Oh, so it's 3Y. My bad. It's 3Y. My bad. Thank you. Because I was like, man. Jeez. So that's just X. My bad. Thank you guys. Okay, what's negative 15 divided by negative 3? What kind of 5? Plus 5. What happens to my y's? Now, before that, I said you're going to end up with two groups. The inside is going to be the same, but out here, it's going to be smaller. So we're going to write our directions here. Group our GCFs and the inside expression. So I'm just going to write it the inside. Write it down. Write it down so you understand it when we actually do it. Write down the instructions. All right, so we group the GCFs and the inside. What's my greatest common factor over here? So 4x, parentheses 4x. What's my greatest common factor over here on the small side? Minus 3y, so it's grouping my greatest common factors. Then the inside, that's x plus 5. It's the same. It's always the same. Maybe you want to make a note. The inside should always be the same. It's a type of distribution. This is the fully factored form of this original problem. This equals 4x minus 3y times x plus 5. It took us like not very long to do that, which is good. All right, go down below, group your terms, please. Highlight the two terms, first two and second two. Highlight the first two and second two. See if you can get the greatest common factor of the first two. Ooh, y'all highlight. Ooh. Good. All right, guys. Wait. Oh, wait, y'all. Y'all ahead of me. Tell me to wait. All right. So, looking at the first two, what is the biggest number? Biggest number, he says it's 3. Does everybody agree? Yeah. What's the biggest variable? X what? X squared, why? It's the smallest one. It's smaller than x cubed. It's the smallest one. We always choose the smaller one. Okay? So when we do this greatest common factor, we're writing 3x squared times the quantity of you guys are doing good. 3x cubed divided by 3x squared minus 6x squared divided by 3x squared. So let's go ahead and take care of that part, guys. All right, so my 3x squared just comes down, and GCF just comes down. And I have 3 divided by 3. What happens to it? Cancels. X cubed divided by x squared. Taking 2 away, how many are left? X to the 1 minus, what's 6 divided by 3? 2. X squareds cancel. So I should, Catherine said 32. 15. Can I do it comes down? Plus 15 times the quantity of x minus what? 2. Next step, what do? I group GCFs, get grouped. So group GCF, and I group the insides. So 3x squared, did you do all your parentheses? Plus 15 times x minus 2. Look at the page. Ripples. The page. All right, so look at this next one. It looks fine. It looks fine. Well, let's group them anyways. I got. So this one's kind of mixed up a little bit. So we're gonna have to rewrite it. We're gonna put x's with x's and b's with b's. So x squared minus ax. That's our group. That's our first group. We have to rearrange a little bit there. Okay. My second group is going to be plus ab minus bx. So when I rewrite this, I have x squared minus ax on one side and ab minus bx on the other side. So let's talk about greatest common factors. Is there a number I can divide in both terms? Not really. So we're gonna skip that. Is there an x I can divide in both terms? Yep, x. Good. Is there an a I can divide out of both terms? Is there an a in both terms? So let's do it. This equals x times the quantity of x squared divided by x minus a x divided by x. All right, let's simplify. This equals x. What's x squared divided by x? X minus, what happens to the a? Comes down. X's cancel. All right, so there's the first group. So technically, on this other side, I better have x minus a as my inside. All right. Now, so is there an a I can divide around? Is there a b? Is there an x? Let's divide out a negative b. We're going to skip the step on why we're doing that, but we're just going to divide out negative b. Okay? All right, so let's do it. Negative b, a over b, ab, divided by negative b, minus bx divided by negative b. So from left to right, my greatest common factor, b, comes down. So I'm dividing a positive by a negative. What do I end up with? Negative. What happens to a? Comes down. What happens to my b's? They cancel. Okay? Next, I'm dividing a negative by a negative. What happens? Positive. What happens to my b's? Cancel. What happens to x? All right. So let's look in the inside. Are those the same?
Yes.
Do I have a positive x? Do I have a negative a? Are they in the same order? Who cares? All right. So when we group these, my greatest common factors equals x minus b times, it doesn't matter which one you choose, x minus a. So please, 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 let's do one problem from your homework together. Let's do one problem from your homework together. Pick a problem to do. First problem you tell me, we'll do it together. 5. That's not it. Oh, that's not it. Oh, yeah, that's good. Sorry. Let me see what 5 is. Ooh, 5 is easy. 5 is so easy.
Do 11.
Let's do 5. It's so easy. Great. All right. Number 5, it says x squared plus 5x plus 4x plus 20. So the first step we need to do, divide into groups or highlight those groups. What's my first group? You'll bump 11x squared plus 5x. What's my second group? 4x plus 20. Don't spend a lot of time on this. You have 4 terms. Break them apart. All right? Ready? What is the biggest variable number? What's the biggest number I can divide out of both terms? Is there one? No. What's the biggest variable? X. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. All right? Now, this is where we do our greatest common factor. So we have x times the quantity of x squared plus divided by x plus 5x's divided by x. Right? And then this comes down. What's x squared divided by x? X. Good. Plus, what happens to 5? Comes down, and this goes away, right? So that means my inside, I should see x plus 5 on the right. Let's make sure we got this. What's the biggest number I can divide out of 4 and 20? 4. Is there a variable I can divide out? So we have plus 4 times 4x divided by 4 plus 20 divided by 4, and I get positive 4 coming down. 4 divided by 4 goes away. X comes down plus 5. How about that? Ready? So when I group these, I get x plus 4, the quantity of x plus 4 times x plus 5. Telling you,